Okay, so please get into a comfortable position. Get nice and comfy. And put your, make sure you have a little bit of neck support. And you can wiggle your bottom. Make sure you're nice and comfortable, please. And what we're going to do is, and if you could please close your eyes, sit back, get nice and comfortable, close your eyes. So what we're going to do is something which we do in almost every session, and it works beautifully every time, and that is to pay attention to our breath. And it seemed a little boring at times, ki bar we start with just listening to the breath, but the breath really is the central point of the whole thing. So what I want you to do now is to begin the process of observing your breath as your breath goes inside your nose and as it comes out of your nose, as the breath enters the body, as the breath exits the body. Just be aware of the beginning of every inhalation and the beginning of every exhalation. And as you're doing that, I'd like you to please be aware of the temperature of the breath as it enters your nostrils, and the same temperature of the same breath as it exits your nostrils. Now, doing this, what we're doing right now is paying attention to a very vital part of our being. Breath is so important in the process of staying alive, not only for the obvious purposes, but because it gets oxygen to all the right parts of the body. And as you breathe, see all that oxygen from outside in clouds outside your face as it enters your nose, goes into your lungs. And all that lovely oxygen comes out of your lungs inside your body. It goes all over the place, helping your cells regenerate, helping your body and your tissues heal. And as you keep breathing, I'd like you to now please take one long deep breath, one really deep breath. Yes, that's it. And hold that breath for a few moments. And if you didn't do it this time, you can do it next time. And when you take a deep breath, I'd like you to expand your stomach. And when you expand your tummy, when you take a deep breath, it allows your lungs to expand even more. And when your lungs expand all the way that much, they can fill up with that much more oxygen, that much more air, and that much more positive energy from the universe. And when we have all the required oxygen and positivity in there, it helps our bodies heal. It helps us be less anxious. It helps improve our memory. It helps improve our recall. It helps increase the speed of our cognition, the way we think, the way we process. It helps increase that as well. And it's very interesting that when we are removed, when we are in a state of trance like we are now, focusing on our breath, seeing the insides of our bodies, it's very interesting that even our instinct, our memory, our reactions, everything becomes better, becomes faster, because we're no longer anxious. We are simply existing in the moment as you are now, breathing in and breathing out. And as you continue doing this, I want you to feel a wave of relaxation coming down from the top of your head. And imagine what it would feel like to be so very relaxed, not a single care in the world. And all the way down, imagine a wave of relaxation from the top of your head coming down, relaxing your eyebrows, relaxing your eyelids, and going further down, relaxing your cheek, relaxing your neck, relaxing your jaw. And as your jaw relaxes, it might just separate a little bit, fall slightly. It happens. And going further down, relaxing your neck and your chest and your arms and your tummy and your thighs and your hips and your calves. And that wave pushes out all the tension, everything out of your body. You might even start to see some colors now. You might see to start some get some thoughts here and there. That's all right. Let them come, let them go. And at the same time, just keep looking at the breath coming in, coming out.
That's right. Keep focusing on the breath. Keep focusing on the sound of my voice. You've allowed yourself to go into a state of trance, a state of relaxation, a state of utilization. Now is the time that you allow yourself to move even deeper in this state and utilize it for your benefit. In a moment, not right now, but in a moment, I'll count from 1 to 3. And at 3, I want you to think about the time when you were stressed and anxious, given an exam, whatever time that may be. I do not know, it was before the exams, it was after the exams, it was during the exams, it could be anything. But what you know is that is the feeling that stops you from achieving your full potential. That's right. 1, 2, and 3. Take another deep breath. And I want you to increase that feeling on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being the least, 10 being the most. Take it to the maximum point, take it to the 10 or 8 or a 9 or a 7 or a 5. I do not know what is maximum for you, but you do. That's right. Allow it to reach the point where it is maximum. And you know you can never feel more than this, what you're feeling right now. And all our feelings, all emotions, all that we know and experience has an originating point in our body. And you know, where are you feeling it in your body? It could be right in the center of your heart or a chest, or in your throat or in your back, any place. I do not know, but your subconscious knows that you have that feeling right there. And people who do not have an exam anxiety, they can use it for any other anxiety as well. So whatever anxiety you have associated with this, now is the time to point it, give it a shape, a color, and identify it in the body part that you have it, inside your body or outside your body. Locate it, and you know it's there. And when you know it's there, experience it. Look at the shape, look at the size, look at the color of that feeling. The feeling that's bothering you, that stops you. And maybe now you can see that if you can take that to a 10, if you've not already achieved a perfect 10 of anxiety. That's right. Now that you have given it a shape and a size and a color, what I want you to do is allow yourself to collect that using one of your hands as your eyes are closed. That color, that shape, simply swipe it off from the point where it is and make a ball of it into both the hands. And as you do so, you notice that every time you swipe your hand, take that energy, collect that feeling, and put it in the other hand. Every time you do it, it loses control over you. It no longer affects you, it no longer controls you. In a moment, not right now, but in a moment, you'll have all of it out of you in a ball. Take your time. We have all the time in the world. There's no hurry. That's right. And feel the feeling that you would have once you're free of. As you become free of this, as it moves out of your body, it no longer controls you, it no longer bothers you, it no longer affects you. That's right. In a moment, not right now, but in a moment, I'll count from 1 to 3. At 3, you'll be able to squeeze that ball into a smaller size ball. 1, 2, 3, now squeezed. Notice the color has changed or not. Notice the texture has changed or not of this energy ball. And you would know that it no longer controls you. It no longer affects you. That's right. And one more time, I'll say 1, 2, 3. At 3, you'll simply, effortlessly, easily be able to squeeze it to a very tiny size. 1, 2, 3 now. Probably a size of a 25 paisa coin. Maybe a 1 rupee coin, I don't know. The choice is yours. That's right. That's right. And now is the time to imagine, visualize, and pretend that in a moment, not right now, but in a moment, you'll break this into 2. A 1 rupee coin, you'll break it into 2. Now on the count of 3, 1, 2, 3, now. That's right. And as you break it, I want you to hand it over to me. That's right, give it to me. One of the parts, perfect. And now you watch me taking it away from you, walking far, far, far away. And as I move away, as I walk far away, the feeling, the emotions, they totally lose control over you. They no longer affect you. They no longer bother you. That's right. And you watch me throw it in the river, and it floats down the river into oblivion, never to come back. Merge with the sea, dissolve, and never ever affect you. That's right. And here I am again, and as I count from 1 to 3, you'll be able to break it again into 2 parts. 1, 2, 3 now, and you'll hand over 1 part to me. And again, the same process. And you know that feeling that you had is so weak that it no longer anywhere affects you. And whatever is the opposite of that feeling, you find yourself filling with that. As I take this negative feeling and throw it in the river, and you see it float away from you, going into the sea, dissolving and staying there forever and never. And now for the one last time, as I count from 1 to 3, you will hand it over to me, the last piece, knowing fully well that now, in a moment, when you part with it, when you give it to me, and when I take it away from you, you'll never ever experience this. That's right, give it to me. And I take it and I move away. This time catching a ship, going right in the middle of the sea and dropping it there. Instantly, immediately, the seawater dissolves it, losing every and any control that it had over you now. And I now want you to think of a feeling, an emotion that you always want with you when you're studying, when you give an exam. Give that feeling a color. That is your personal color. I do not know what color that means. Every color is right. There's no wrong colors here. There's no wrong emotions or feelings that you want in space of what you've let go. And the count of 3, find yourself surrounded into that feeling, into that color, into the midst of the color, the feeling that you want. Now. 1, 2, 3, now. And as you breathe, inhale that mist, that emotion, that feeling that you want as positive is going inside you, filling your breath, filling your lungs, and from your lungs to each and every blood vessel, every organ, fueling your brain. That's right. Even your body pores are breathing that emotion, that feeling, that color, that energy. In a moment, not right now, in a moment, I'll give you some time so that you can take all you want. And now you would notice that you are full of this feeling. This could be calm, confidence, whatever that you want to call it. Give it a name, give it a thought. And all I want you to do is that you will be able to be in this position, in this state at any given point of time. Whenever you'll go close your fist, close your eyes, take a deep breath, and say the word, the feeling that you want to be in. You'll immediately, instantly, without fail, be in that feeling. That's right. Whenever you want to be in this state or even deeper state, all you have to do is make a fist and say the name of the feeling mentally while your eyes are closed, and immediately, instantly, without fail, you'll go into that state. Now. And one more time, purely for the luck. You know that you can go into this state whenever you take your fist, clench it, close your eyes, and take the name of the feeling that you want to be in, the state that you want to be in. And immediately, instantly, without fail, you will be in that state. Notice the change that you've made. That's right. That's right.
And now what we've done now was to find our anxiety inside of us and to pick it up from there and to remove it and to get rid of it and to get away from it, and so that it doesn't have any control over us, and to also create these wonderful new feelings that we enjoy having, that empower us. And now what we're going to do is I want you to imagine a little while later, whenever your exams are starting, I want you to imagine yourself sitting in the exam hall. You're sitting there. Imagine where you're sitting. Imagine you're sitting there on that chair in front of the desk. You've got your pens. Perhaps you're wearing a uniform. You're sitting at the desk waiting for the question papers to be handed out. And it's very strange. You're prepared so well. You're feeling so good that normally this waiting time might not have been as it feels now, but now it just feels wonderful. You can't wait for the question paper to come. You know you've done the studies. You know you have no anxiety. You know you're full of confidence, full of knowledge. All the information that you've been studying, all these months you've spent studying and preparing, all that information is at your fingertips. So there is absolutely nothing you feel right now except for the feeling that a superhero gets right before a battle. He knows, she knows they're going to win it. They know they're going to kick ass, and that's what you are going to do. And the paper comes. It is placed on your desk by the examiner, and for a moment you get a little feeling of doubt. Were you being overconfident? And you open the paper, and you were not, because the moment you see that paper, you find you know everything on that paper. And you know you've practiced writing, you know you've practiced your speed, you know you've practiced answering. You know you practice the different types of marks and different types of answers and different lengths of answers, and you know how prepared you are. And you begin to start answering the questions, and before you know it, you've finished the entire paper. And you've even got time for a review. You've got time for a review. You review it and you do it all so well, so smoothly. Maybe a couple of corrections here and there, but ultimately you finish the entire paper and you're doing really well. No anxiety, complete confidence, complete satisfaction with your performance, and a great deal of joy about having done such a wonderful job for something you've been preparing for such a long time. And now you're going to visualize yourself going home, telling your parents all about this wonderful exam you gave, how wonderfully you did the paper, and perhaps the parents will ask you questions about the questions. Ye question kaisa tha, wo question kaisa tha, and you answer everything with a smile on your face, knowing that you've done everything to the very best of your abilities, and this is going to have a wonderful outcome.
That's right. Be in that state, be in that feeling, knowing fully well that if ever you ever come across a doubt, or if you see anybody anxious and you wonder that whether you will be one day as anxious as you were, one point of time, all you have to do is make your fist, close your eyes, and mentally say the word, the state that you want to be in, the emotion that you want to be in. And immediately and instantly you will be in that state. Now, every time you sit to write, to study, you know you have everything, you've taken care of everything. You would remember everything. That's right. And why is that? But sometimes we are able to recall things and sometimes we're not able to recall things. So let's go take a deep dive and find out what's inside our brain, what's in that library where we store all the information and what is happening there. That's right. I want you to imagine, visualize, and pretend that on the count of 3, you will be inside your brain, inside your filing system. It might look like a library or a different thing, but there's a lot of information that you're reading, storing. And there would be a way that your mind, your brain stores it. That's right. Perfect. I'll give you time to imagine and visualize that place where you store, and notice the clutter that you have inside that place. Things are not optimized. And I'll give you some time where you can appoint somebody that would help you always, like a librarian. Now is the time to catalog, store all the information that you've ever read, seen, or heard in a manner that you'll be able to retrieve it quickly. That's right. Take your time. Notice, as you are doing this, you realize that earlier it was taking a lot of time to process and retrieve the information. Even if you knew that you've read it, you've heard it, you've studied it, you've seen it, it was harder for you to retrieve because it was not in the right place to be found. Whereas now, that as you streamline this library, the storage system, this retrieval system, the more you do, the faster it becomes. The audio files, the texts, the video, they're all separately stored now. They're stored very clearly. They're all marked in a fashion which will allow you to retrieve the information very, very quickly. Take your time. And in a moment, not right now, but in a moment, you'll be able to see that you have done a perfect job of reorganizing. Not only what you're storing, but what you will be able to retrieve in this. That's right. That's right. And that's right. It'll also give you that intuition that when you are in a doubt and you know that's right or wrong, you'll be able to simply recall the time that you were listening to it, reading it, or seeing it, or somebody was discussing with you, and you will have the right answer, always the correct one. If you're dealing with a problem, you will have the right answer. If you're dealing with a question, you'll have the right answer. And if the question has more than one answer, you would know at least 3 of them to easily write and implement. That's right. That's right. I want you to visualize and imagine that you are in a situation.
A situation that requires you to recall, a situation that requires you to remember, a situation that requires you to pull information out of that vast bank of your memory. And now that you understand that just how your memory works, that where it is stored, and that everything is definitely stored, you find it so easy. And once again, I'll take you back to that time when you were looking at the questions on that exam sheet, and there were questions in there that required you to access your memory, and you find you can access every last detail. Pull it out of your memory, all the times you studied it, it's right there. And different people organize their memory in different ways. For example, some of us might store the number 9 as a number. Some of us might remember it as a sound, 9. Some of it might remember it as a picture, what 9 looks like. Similarly, each one of you has your own individual way of organizing your memory, and you will find that out. And when you use it, you will have incredible results, because you can now remember everything whenever you want, regardless of when you studied it. You will be successful in retrieving every piece of information as and when required. It'll come so easily to you from now on that you'll never have to wonder, will I be able to remember this? Of course you will. You will always be able to remember.
Now, as you often wonder, I wonder if you could imagine, visualize and pretend yourself in a place so wonderful, place so serene. And it is an exam hall, maybe some place where you used to something you need to recall. And now I want you to look at all the markers, all the scales of 1 to 10, and you find that the memory is at 10 and the stress anxiety is at 0. Nowhere to be found. That's right. That's right. And every time and any time you want to be in this state, all you have to do is think of a word And that word could be any word that you want to give. Or that could be a sunflower. Let's call it sunflower. If you want to give any other word, give it any other name. And whenever you'll close your eyes, take a deep breath and mentally say the word sunflower immediately, instantly, without fail. Both your anchors of confidence, of no stress and anxiety, of a state where you can retrieve and record perfectly would be triggered. Sunflower, immediately, instantly going into the state with eyes wide open while still writing, you would be in that perfect state, that flow, that often people would wonder how you're doing it. Sometimes even you would wonder how you're doing this. Just imagine, visualize that you are doing it. You are you. Writing, remembering, retrieving. That's right. In a moment, not right now, but in a moment, I'll count from 1 to 5. And at 5, you'll open your eyes, knowing fully well the changes that you've made would stay with you all the while. 1, knowing fully well that whenever you say sunflower, these 2 triggers would be taking you to the right space and right state without fail. 2 and 3, whenever you have questions, you'll be able to answer from whatever you've seen, heard, or practiced or written. 4, complete calm, total energy, and full confidence. And 5, taking your time, open your eyes with a big, big smile.